All right, here we go. Welcome, welcome to another session, another training, another training. We're gonna begin in just 2 short minutes. 2 short minutes. We will begin. All right. How you guys doing today? Y'all ready? Y'all ready to learn? Y'all ready to get into this? All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to invest in your well-being. All right. So, what are we here for? What is the basis of what we're here for? All right. Look, the human mind is a vast, intricate landscape divided in layers of consciousness and subconsciousness. All right. Each playing a pivotal role in the shaping of your reality. So, what we're talking about today in today's session is master your mind, stress proof strategies for busy professionals and caregivers. All right, this lesson is designed to give you simple, effective tools to manage stress, build resilience, and enhance your daily well being. All right. So let's get into some statistics, right? What is the prevalence of mental health? Okay. Approximately 23% of US adults experience a mental health illness episode in the past year. That's 23%. So that's the equivalent of 60 million Americans. So 60 million Americans are actually dealing with mental health, stress, and turmoil. All right. Within that, the ages 18 to 25 make up the absorbent amount of it. They're the most prevalent of mental health issues. All right. So they are approximately, I believe they say it's 36%. So 36% of 18 to 25-year-olds are experiencing mental health illnesses. All right. That surpasses the adult age brackets. So my demographic usually is about anywhere from 25 to 44. Those are the individuals that I speak with most frequently, that engage with my content. So we are the individuals that are a little outside of that bracket, you know what I mean, with 25. But what's happening is we also are experiencing, like I said, it ain't that much big difference. It's 30 and 36%. So if you're a busy professional, then this is definitely something that you're going to want to tap into and pay attention to. Like I said, we're not here for a long time, but I'm going to give you some valuable information while we are here. The US healthcare system, it faces challenges in adequately addressing mental health issues. And this is why I am doing trainings like this. Because right now, as it may be, jails are often served as the de facto mental health centers, right? So there's a rise in drug overdose, there's a rise in deaths, there's a rise in highlighting systematic inadequacies when it comes to your mental health. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So if you're an individual that has trouble focusing, if you're an individual that has energy crashes midday, if you get constantly fatigued, if you are someone who feels like you're constantly behind, if you feel like you've been snapping on loved ones for no reason, if you're always too busy to prioritize yourself, have you been feeling off but can't explain why? If any of this sounds familiar, it's time for a mental reset. And this training is for you. This isn't about generic self-care tips, right? It's about real, actionable strategies to help strengthen your resilience and reclaim your mental space. All right, so that you can operate at your highest level. All right. So we will talk about the what, the why, and the how. We just said why. I just went over why. Because 36% or 23% of US adults experience mental health issues, and 36% of young adults experience mental health issues. So we have the why. This is why this is so important, right? But say, hey, what are the top 5 most significant factors when it comes to our mental health? Where is this influence coming from? It's coming from trauma. It's coming from trauma. It's coming from relationships, social connections. It's coming from work related stress and financial stress. It's coming from your lifestyle, your physical health and lifestyle choices. And it's coming from your environmental and social influences. Society plays a big influence, and we'll talk about this because the information that you intake audibly, visually, audibly impacts your mental health. It impacts your mental health. So you might ask, P, what does that look like on scale? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. Because on scale, your trauma is the number one issue. Your trauma is the number one issue. All right. So when we are looking at the factors that are affecting our mental health, we have to put them into perspective. We're not going to immediately go to societal influences because that's at the lower of the scale. Our past trauma and our childhood trauma is at the top. If we look at our social connections and our relationships, look, the people closest to you are the ones that can hurt you the most because they're the closest to you. So, societal or social connections and relationships are a key factor in what affects your mental health. All right. Your financial and work environment. We spend the majority of our days at work. As children, we spend the majority of days at school, which is your form of work. And then your physical health and lifestyle choices. If you are physically inadequate, if you are physically unable, then that is going to affect you in your life because your friends and family are moving, they're active, they're able to do things and operate in manners that you're physically incapable of doing. All right. So we'll address that. And then, as we said, environmental is at the end. So, what, what, or which is the most important? And how do we mitigate these, right? We found out which is most important, but we will explore 4 strategies in mitigating this. Like I said, I want to give you relevant information. I want to give you universal training techniques. Okay. So we'll explore 4 core strategies. These 4 core strategies, by the end of this, will help give you actionable techniques to implement immediately because I don't want you to leave this training and not know what to do next. I don't want you to leave this training and not know how to move forward. All right. So here are 4 universal training techniques. And why does it work? Well, when we focus on the technique of mental fullness and emotional regulation, it helps because we manage stress. It helps us to improve awareness and regulate emotions across various challenges. When it comes to our cognitive behaviors, our CBT based techniques, it helps individuals identify and reframe negative thought patterns, reducing anxiety, depression, and stress. This is one reason that individuals see therapists because therapists help you with your cognitive behavioral skills. So, what does that look like? That looks like, hey, every time I'm in this circumstance or every time I feel this way, now I have a technique to take me out of that negative mindset, to take me out of that negative pattern, and ultimately reducing my anxiety, depression, and stress. Socially, your social and communication skills. This works because it strengthens your relationships. Most people suffer from mental health, especially in the workplace, because they don't know how to communicate or convey their thoughts to someone else. They are intimidated. They're reduced to loneliness. They have a lower morale in the workplace and the community around them. All right. If you're a caregiver and you care for someone who is socially inept, this affects you. This affects you. And then lastly, your lifestyle optimization, your habits. If you have a better, a more adapted lifestyle for physical health, then you ultimately will build better routines and you will have a better long-term mental and physical well-being. All right. So these are the things that we're going to be discussing today. These are the things that I want you to take away from this lesson. All right. These are the universal training techniques that will help you with all of these. They'll help you with your childhood trauma. They'll help you with your social connections, with your work-related stress. Okay? So let's get into it. Let's just get into it. So we started with understanding stress and challenges. We understand it now. We know the 5 areas that are affecting us the most, right? And then I just gave you the universal techniques. So now all we have to do is apply the techniques. All we have to do is apply the techniques. So let's go. Let's apply them, right? What is the techniques that we can use for mindfulness and emotional regulation training? Well, the biggest one that I recommend is doing a quick exercise of 2-minute mindful breathing. Do some mindful breathing. Your breath within your body is your life source. This is your life source. Many of us do not breathe adequately. Many of us do not breathe efficiently. So how do we implement this exercise? You need to sit comfortably, close your eyes, open your eyes. It doesn't matter, but it should be a controlled environment. And take a deep breath through your nose, hold it, and slowly exhale. The objective is to focus only on your breath. If your thoughts wander, if your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This right there, what I just said, is meditation. That is the whole purposes of meditation. So when someone says, I don't know how to meditate, breathe, hold, and let it go. If your mind wanders, bring it back. All right? Let's try one. I always like to do, and if you have trouble sleeping, and we'll get into this, if you have trouble sleeping, a number one tool that you can use, that you can ask many military professionals that lack sleep, you can use this tool. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and then release for 8 seconds. Let's try it. We'll breathe in for 4, hold for 7, release for 8. All right, do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Release. Just like that. In and out. Do that for a repetition of 3 to 5 times. I guarantee you this practice, even for 2 minutes a day, can reduce stress and improve focus. Simply focusing on your breath. Simply focusing on your breath. When it comes to applying techniques for lifestyle optimization and lifestyle habit formation, key strategies in this is prioritizing sleep. The best thing you can do to enhance your lifestyle and your well-being is to prioritize sleep. I would aim for 7 to 8 hours per night. That may not be realistic for most. This is America. They work you like slaves. I get it. But prioritize your sleep. Even if you can't get 8 hours of sleep at night, can you get a nap in during the day? Can you get an hour nap in during the day? One thing I like to do, because honestly, I probably only get about 6 hours. I find that very sufficient for me. Anything less, I'm a little foggy. Anything more, too much sleep can be a thing too. So yes, 7 to 8 hours is good, but that 6 hour range is really my golden era, right? 6 to 7 hours for me. And I meditate throughout the day. So if I'm ready to get a quick nap in, I'll do my breathing drills that'll help relax my body so that I can go to sleep, and I'll take a little hour nap. Take an hour nap. Your body needs this. Another thing for your lifestyle optimization, a key strategy is to fuel your body. Fuel your body. A whole food diet helps regulate mood and energy. If you're eating dead carcasses, if you're eating flesh and the energy of an animal that was horrifically killed and it wasn't halal, then you're probably going to see the effects of that. You will probably feel the effects of that. Pay attention to how you feel after you eat. Having the itis is not an indicator that the food was good. That is an indicator that the food served you no nutritional value and benefit, because food should give you energy. It should give you life. When I eat whole grains, when I eat fruit, when I eat cucumbers and watermelon, it gives me life. It gives me energy. All right. So be mindful of the food you eat and how it makes your mood feel. Write it down in your notes. And then lastly, when it comes to lifestyle, get into nature. Take walks. Even a 10-minute walk can lower your stress hormones. Even a 10-minute walk can lower your stress hormones. So it's important that we utilize the strategies and tools that can help us take us out of a negative state and put us in a more positive state of well-being. Thirdly, cognitive behavioral skills. Cognitive behavioral skills. This is looking to reduce your anxiety. We are looking to reduce your stress. The main thing you can do here, the technique for this, is to simply refrain from negative thoughts. Refrain from negative thoughts. What you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. You have to control your mind. You have to control your thoughts. How do we do that? P, how do we control our thoughts? Well, when you catch yourself thinking, I can't handle this. This is too much. I can't do it. I'm not enough. This is tough. When you catch yourself doing these things and saying these things out loud or internally, catch it. The only way you catch it is by practicing. Hey, I know I need to reframe my thoughts. I know I need to be thinking more positively. So when you do think negatively, don't speak it out loud. If you think negatively, speak positively out loud to combat it. So if I say, I can't handle this, say, hey, this is tough, but I've handled tough things before. This is tough, but I handled tough things before. Think back. The moment you are right now, the moment you're in right now, and all the things you've overcame, everything you thought would break you. If you're here today, I'm still alive. It didn't break you. You're unbreakable. You're unbreakable. Even at feeling your lowest, you're unbreakable, because if you're here today, you've surpassed all your past turmoil. You surpassed all your past trauma. You surpassed all your negative thinking just to be here today. Another technique, write down what stresses you out. That way you can know, hey, this is a trigger for me. Hey, this bothers me. Hey, this puts me in this mind frame. Write down one stress-inducing thought and reframe it with a positive, neutral alternative. I'm always tired. Negative. A positive or neutral alternative would be, hey, I need to get more sleep. Hey, I need to prioritize my rest. I will prioritize my rest. I will prioritize my sleep. Okay? Are you guys with me? Do you feel me? Do we have any questions? Because I want you to leave with these techniques that I know, and I know from my core because I use them. I know from my core because I use them. They will help. They will help, but you have to put in the work. You have to put in effort. You have to want to do better. All right? Lastly, social communication. Social and communication. Look, your social skills and your communication skills are integral. They are integral to your well-being, to your mental health. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you don't have strategies like setting boundaries, then people will manipulate your mood and your time. These are social and communication skills. You need to have the ability to communicate and tell people no. You need to have the ability to communicate and tell people when you're uncomfortable. It's okay to say no to protect your well-being. It's okay to express yourself clearly, even if it offends someone. Don't be rude, but say, hey, I feel overwhelmed right now. I need a minute. I need a minute. I can't have this conversation right now. I feel overwhelmed. That's me expressing my thoughts clearly to a friend, to a coworker. If you need help, hey, I feel overwhelmed. I need some help. Reaching out to someone that loves you, someone who showed you they care about you. I'm not feeling my best right now. Can you help me? Seek connections that prioritize meaningful conversations. I do not engage in conversations that are destructive. You could never gossip about someone to me because I don't want to hear it, because I don't care. And you look goofy talking about somebody that's not here, especially when I know you don't have the heart to say it to their face. Keep those conversations brief and in check. Don't allow people to talk about things that are not productive to your well-being. Okay? You have to identify what individuals, what conversations. You have to identify what triggers are impacting your mental health. I challenge you today. Identify one person to check in with today. A friend, a family member, a colleague. Who can be in your corner? Who can be by your side? Who? And then as you implement these strategies, as you implement these techniques, you'll be able to then track your progress, because all of these have measurable impacts. You can measure and see what quality people are around you. You can measure and see what negative mind frame are you in. When it comes to your cognitive behavioral skills, again, what information are we ingesting? What type of music am I listening to that is shaping my thoughts? What type of movies and shows am I watching that are shaping my thoughts? Am I on social media looking at nonsense that is framing my mindset in a negative state? I deal with a lot of elders and they love watching the news, but there's no good information on the news. People don't watch the news for good information. Does anyone have a family member, a mother, a grandmother that calls them every time they hear something on the news telling them that something negative is happening in the world? That's not information that you need. Yes, it is good to know what's going on in the world around you. However, that needs to be limited. That needs to be controlled. No one can just call my phone and give me news that is not relevant to my peace, because I have barriers in place for this. I track my process. I journal. Journaling will help track your progress and give you a measurable impact of the habits that you are creating. Apple Watches, Fitbits, they give you measurable impact on whether you're getting sleep. They give you measurable impact on whether or not you're getting good sleep. Journaling after I eat gives me a measurable impact of how the food hasn't impacted my mental state, my physical state. Breathing drills. Breathing drills You have to train your body. You have to train your mind the same way you trained your body. Remember, 2-minute mindful breathing techniques. 2-minute mindful breathing. This is meditation. If you don't like the word meditation, think of it as just breathing training. Train your breath, especially if you're a smoker. Your breath is your life source. Your breath will help expand your consciousness. All right? And that's it, y'all. That's it. Don't wait until stress forces you to stop. Take control now. Take control now. Put your health first. Before anything, put your health first. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. We've spent enough time here. I gave you valuable insight. I gave you valuable insight. I hope you use these tools. I hope you use these strategies and solutions, because your mental health is a priority. It is a priority. It is a priority for you, and it is a priority for the environment around you. What is the best breathing method if you had you're a habitual smoker? If you're a habitual smoker, I confess, I too am a habitual smoker. Only herbs though. And one thing I would say, try to stop smoking. Try to stop smoking. You know what I mean? Drink teas, drink elixirs. Try not to smoke your herbs. If you're just smoking tobacco, I have a cigar every now and then, but limit your smoking for one. But a breathing technique, there's many. So I told you the 4, 7, 8. That's inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And then you have your box pattern breathing. So that's 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6. All right. Inhale for 2, hold for 2, exhale for 2. All right. We're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, search breathing drills, breathing techniques. They're on there. I have some on my page. Just being conscious of your breath, just being conscious of your breath will help you breathe better. Inhale deeper, exhale more strongly. If you are someone that wants to get your family on board, you have to be the example. No one is going to do anything or listen to your sound advice unless you are practicing these things yourself. My family sees me practice health. They see it in the way I eat. They see it in the way I exercise. They see it in the way that I tell them to turn certain music off. They see it in the way I tell them to turn certain shows off. When you exemplify what it is that you are trying to put them onto, they will be more open to change. They'll be more open to change because you'll be the one exhibiting the behavior that they are liking. You'll be the one exhibiting the behavior that they are envious of. Okay? So practice, practice, practice. Practice makes improvement. Without practice, none of this will be accomplished. You will not be able to implement these techniques without first practicing them. And don't beat yourself up for it. Don't beat yourself up for it. What should I practice? Practice getting good sleep. Practice deep breathing deeply. Practice controlling your breath. Practice controlling your thoughts. Practice catching your triggers and preventing emotional outbursts. You are not going to be perfect, but the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be consistent, because inconsistency brings about perfection. All right. That's my whole thing for today. I appreciate you guys tapping in. I appreciate you taking time on a Saturday afternoon, putting your health first. That's my whole thing. Stay blessed. See you next time.